What's up, everybody? Welcome back. 77 Flipping in Chicago on location.
You know what time it
Remember
is?
we used to say that on the podcast? You'd be like, you don't have to say on location because that's what it is. That's what it is. Anyway, if you love us, and I know you do, and we strongly like you, go ahead and follow us.
We're a family.
Yeah, go ahead and follow us, like, subscribe, click the buttons. Go ahead and help us out.
You see how cold it is when we outside?
Yeah, Sarah Cole, I'm actually pretty decent. You know what I'm saying?
My hair flipping around.
Yeah, just messing you up.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. Let's go.
Into it. So, we all know Chicago is a hub of culture, right? So, regionally, internationally, a lot of culture has happened in Chicago. A lot of art, music, and one publication that wanted to commemorate that was the Chicagoan. But before we get into it, I want to shout out my sister because she said she was going to call me out publicly on the internet if I didn't. She discovered the Chicagoan while she was pinning phone wallpapers.
Yeah.
She went down a rabbit hole and she was like, you guys need to do some more research on this. So we did.
That's what we did. If y'all have any ideas, go ahead, holler at us too. We'll do it.
That.
Might not credit you, but we'll
we'll
credit you. We'll credit you. But anyway, so we're gonna talk about the Chicagoan today, and there's only two places where you can see this because it's a publication that lasted from June 14th, 1926, all the way to April 1935. So lasted about a decade. And there's no more after that.
Then it disappeared.
Literally disappeared. Literally. So, but there's only two places you can find it. Yeah. One is, oddly enough, New York Public Library, which is kind of modeled after the New Yorker. Right. So, kind of makes sense there. And the other location that you can find it is right here at the Regenstein Library on the University of Chicago campus.
Yeah. So the copies that were actually discovered, there's a whole book. You can check it out at any public library, a Chicago Public Library, and read about it. But the professor that discovered it was actually a history professor here at the University of Chicago.
Yeah.
He was going through the shelves of this library, and he found copies of this weird magazine that he's never seen before. That? And so he went down a rabbit hole and did a ton of research and wrote this amazing book, which which helped us out in our research because there isn't really much else. They don't know. There's no record of how the publication happened. None of the people that wrote for it.
No locations.
There's no locations. All of the research that he found was either word of mouth or stuff through the magazine itself, and maybe the New Yorker shitting on us, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's go inside, get out of this cold, and we're going to check out the Chicagoan.
Let's get it. Womp womp.
Yeah, womp womp is right. So we just got here, checking in, everything's going all fine, and then we find out that what we want is part of the special collections. Should assume that.
Yeah.
And we can't get it because they're closed on Saturdays. So now we have to wait till Monday to maybe see if we can get it. So
we'll be back though. We're gonna try.
We'll be back. Just stay tuned.
But we're now walking around the library because it looks cool.
It looks cool. It does look cool. So we'll show you that, and then
that's B-roll.
B-roll, and then it'll be a new day.
Yeah, right. So it'll then be Monday.
It'll be Monday. So we'll see you. Look at here, R.R. Donnelly. Yeah. Look at this. Won't y'all go check out our printing episode?
That's so cool.
And check out some history.
Look how detailed this one is.
Yeah. This is crazy.
And this one, R&R Clark.
I guess this is not a complete loss. Since we're here on campus, we might as well go ahead and eat like a local. Look at these prices. Oh, this is not the real world.
No, it's not. We're back eating on campus, baby.
Yeah, fun fact, this is only the second time that we've ever eaten on a campus, and both times we're here.
Did we ever go to any other school?
That is a good point. We have never been.
When we went to UIC?
Did we go inside though?
Jane Byrne.
We didn't go inside. We just went to Jane Byrne. Jane Byrne.
Jane Addams.
So, but yeah, I guess we're UIC students.
University of Chicago, I mean. UFC.
My bad. Day 2, we back. But we also late. We also late for our appointment.
Oops.
So Let's
Hopefully they
still let us in here.
let us in here.
We go see. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
All right, so we got in, but now we have to do like we did at the Newberry Library and set up an account. Sarah's just gonna set up one. We'll use hers every time we're here, but we gotta call the stuff out. So stay tuned. We getting there.
So we're in the special collections room. You can reserve the room online. You can actually request the books online. I couldn't find out how to request them, so we did it pretty quickly here, like we mentioned.
Yeah.
And in front of us are the original bound editions of the magazine.
Unreal.
It's wild.
Yeah, like I feel like this is these archive type of things that you really love. How many people know that they could do this in Chicago? This is
Like,
nuts.
look, this is from 19. This is I think one of the first. 1927.
Yeah.
And some of the calendar of events in the city. This one is the Art Institute of Chicago. Paintings from the Carnegie Institute International Show. Paintings by Walt Kuhn. Exhibit of New Mexico painters. Sculpture by Paul Manship. Children Museum, Art Institute.
There's a lot.
Field Museum, antique sculptures. Like,
so dope.
what?
So dope. And like looking at this, you see where, and you found this, but like you see where the original office was. It
Yeah.
was for, what is it?
Let's see.
407
407 South Dearborn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. It's now a Taco Bell.
It's all good though. It's all good. But this is,
Look at the original cartoons.
yeah. Like this art is actually pretty dope though. All right, so y'all, I got to have my phone out because there's a lot of names, and the cool thing about the Chicagoan magazine was that it was done by a lot of minorities at a time where a lot of minorities did not have jobs or opportunity like this, and there's some dope names. So the first name is actually Marie Armstrong Hecht, which is really dope. She was the first editor for the Chicagoan. And in those times, we already know how women were treated. Richard Atwater, who was born Frederick Atwater, he attended University of Chicago, right where we are. He attended here. Yeah. He and his wife, fun fact for y'all, he and his wife also co-authored Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Wow.
Yes, and if you are familiar with that, it's a pretty old tale, but also was a screen adapted loosely based off of the original work. And the Jim Carrey movie. Boom. This is kind of the point that, where I'm kind of going with is like Chicago had its own identity.
Yeah.
And like we were doing, telling our kind of like our culture. And that's what the Chicagoan is. It kind of tells you what's going on. Like, look at this. We talk about theater here. And like, as we turn the page, it just feels like what's going on in Chicago. Although I just saw something that was a little racy. Lucky Sambo. That's weird. Ooh. Like, again, these were those times, man. We were just going through, we're going through still, the Black migration. And
It was almost the beginning of the Black migration, wasn't it? Like
it was almost been, the 20s. It was going on for 10 years at this point, 11 years at this point. But yeah, Lucky Sambo. I don't know, that threw me off a little bit. That's
to be fair, if we're being honest, there's the Chicagoan was made to talk about
Marie. Yeah, there she is right there.
It was the people that worked on the Chicagoan were young. They were highly educated, spoke multiple languages. They were prominent people in society or like rising, but they're all very young. And it had, in 7 months, they had about 460 contributors to the magazine.
Wow.
And they kind of took the recipe from the New Yorker and just like copied that, right? And so they focused a lot on the culture. So they did theater, music, reviews, food, restaurant reviews, art. So, and it was very clearly made for a specific part of the city.
Right.
It ignored a huge population, which was, anyone that was an immigrant or black or Mexican or whatever, all of that. And it mainly focused on white rich.
Right.
That was their focus.
Yeah.
And you can see that because
you can see.
you'll see there's a lot of jokes that are made and ads that target rich white people.
Yeah.
But like
Speaking of which,
right
here on this cover right here, just yeah. But let's speak some of the artists though. Some of the artists, because we did mention it was like diverse. But check this out here. I'm gonna list some of the artists, and the first name is E. Sims Campbell. E. Sims Campbell was the first. Get this, the first black cartoonist with national recognition. Insane, y'all. Like, I don't think y'all understand. Y'all hear me. The first black cartoonist with national recognition, which is insane. He went to Inglewood High School, so shout out to the South Side. And he was from St. Louis, too. So he's from St. Louis, came here, went to Inglewood, went to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, SAIC, worked at the New Yorker, Cosmopolitan, Ebony, and Playboy.
Yeah.
Just to list a few.
And he was the one that created the mascot for Esquire.
Yeah, Esky, that weird little eye bulge dude. That's weird looking.
But yeah, I mean, so what we're looking at here in front of us is the bound copies of the original magazine. So these are the original. Some of them they kept the original covers. This is what the original magazine looked like, and whoever, like the person that gifted this to the university, just had them bound so that they're not just loose magazines.
Yes, because like if you see, let's get to another cover here. Well, I'm so like nervous to be this. This is the end. They got an advertisement for
999
Lakeshore Drive. Yeah, that's we should go there and see what's there. Wrigley Building.
Yeah.
Now, wow, that's okay. Wow, that's crazy.
There's even a cartoon about Mr. Wrigley goes to a Cubs game, and it's at Wrigley Field.
Wow, look at so
Beautiful.
you can't really see, but look at the color right there.
You can see. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, look at the look at the cover right there. Pretty dope. Yeah, go ahead, angle that down. There you go. Boom.
Flip over. Let's see what else is.
Let's see what they're talking about.
Whoever this is, they got money.
Yeah, Steger and Sons.
Well, pianos.
Look, northwest corner of Wabash and Jackson.
I bet you that's still there.
Or some kind of. This is like dope to look at.
So this guy right here, Martin
Quigley.
I don't know if it's focusing
Quigley.
on Quigley's name, but he was the publisher that took over. Quigley was the publisher that took over and kind of made the Chicagoan what it was. He wrote a lot of the editorial pieces. So you'll see at the beginning of every new, so like this is the cover. You'll flip over, and you'll see an editorial by him, and it's often about like a prominent figure or something.
I want to know what the talk of the town was as you keep going.
Suffrage.
Wow.
We have no intention to kick the corpse of the recent election, but we can't resist recalling one tale from the wake.
This is
It's very cool. We also checked out the book that was written by the professor that found these bound books and was like, what is this? And so I've already flipped through some of the copies that are in that book that he has and read some of the articles. That one is more divided by, so you have like a section that's just the covers, a section that's editorials, a section that's reviews, a section that's cartoons. So like, it's not as much as these. But
this is pretty much almost their whole catalog. I would because it's four. I guess it's 4 books. They were coming out 10 years. Two at a time up until like the 30s.
Yep. And so that's like towards their downfall was kind of when Quigley gave up his editorial work. He kind of like passed that job along, and mind you, even before that, there was a lot of like typos in here. It was a lot of it was run by a bunch of super young people. They had a ton of contributors. So like it was hard to keep everyone to the same standard. But when Quigley gave up his editorial pieces, it was kind of like downhill from there. They went from two a month to one every 2 weeks to one a month. And they decreased their membership fees or subscriber fees from $5 to $3 to $2, and kind of like not really a good look.
Yeah.
The Great Depression was coming along. They had often steered away from writing about politics, but they started writing about homeless people sleeping in the park and stuff like that. And I'm curious if, like, looking through the later pieces, we're gonna be able to see that. But like, look here, this is a thing that you like send to like get a subscription. So the Chicagoan, please enter your subscription to the Chicagoan. 13 issues for $1.50, 26 issues for $3.
That's a deal back. Ooh, bring that back. Bring that back. We're gonna flip through just for a little bit and come back because I got some more names I think are pretty dope and just some people to highlight.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at some history. Y'all can watch us.
Let's get it.
Yeah. The Temptress 20s. Okay. What's going on there? All right, y'all. I want to show you this, but check this out. We talked about Sunset Cafe on here for a little bit. Right there at 35th and Calumet is a black and tan, sometimes set upon by federal snoopers and sometimes not. Oh man, well worth a call in person or by phone to find out. Wow, a most waggish club. So they trying to say, hey, you could get caught or you might not get caught. All right, so check it out. We both got, both of the books. You got the third and the fourth volumes. I got the sixth and the seventh, right? The fourth through the sixth, right? Volumes. And one thing that you can find out here is that they added color to some of the pages,
It's expensive to add color.
It's expensive, so they added color. They changed some names of titles. For example, they had in the earlier volumes, they were Talk of the Town. And now it's Topics of the Town. And then the art changed a little bit. The art changed so slightly, was a little bit more refined, a lot more detailed and not so sketchy looking. However, I want to bring you some more interesting facts about the artist since I'm on there. Albert Carreno, he was Mexican born, and he was a caricaturist and a cartoonist, and he worked for Marvel when he moved to New York, later after this. Let's see, Nat Carson was from Switzerland. They went to School of Art in Chicago. Raymond Katz was from Hungary, went to the SAIC. Isidore Klein worked on, get this, Betty Boop, Popeye, and Mighty Mouse. And if you are old, you know that those are all huge names. And then Doris Rydell created the first cover for the Chicagoan.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll get that because I think they have that. We got 2 other books. It's 4 books, but pretty dope as we flip through this stuff.
Really dope.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I'm just looking at a random page here, and it says the title of the column says Emancipation. The Women's World Fair hit one final resounding crescendo on its keyboard, and then with feminine precision locked up the piano. That piano is now being returned for next year. Surely women are precise. Until we finally went out to the Coliseum last week, we honestly were unprepared to picture just what a women's world fair might be.
Oh, wow. Wow. This is crazy because you see some of the clubs and stores and things that they have at the very
the history
beginning.
That we talked about that doesn't exist anymore.
It's just crazy to touch it. We are literally touching that right now. Here we go. The Drake is there. They said the Drake is at Michigan Avenue, Lakeshore Drive, Superior 2200. A celebrity's stopping place. Genial, smart, and popular, dancing to the smooth melodies of Bobby Meeker, eating in the main dining room under the attentive eye of Peter Fairs. Crazy that this is just crazy. And they list a bunch of other stuff. The Rex, I never heard of the Rex. State in 22nd. That's not even Then it's South Loop. Yeah, that's South Loop. I wonder what's there now. State and 20.
Sunset, 35th and Calumet, Douglas, 1074, still sealed by the G boys. Hella.
What is this? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is crazy how Chicagoans would get down back in the day. this is just nuts, y'all.
So starting December 17th, we changed our system of dating from the beginning to the middle of respective fortnight periods. This accounts for no dating as of December 3rd. The continuity of the published issues has not been interrupted, however. But later, it will be interrupted to only one a month. But look, Martin Quigley. We just sat here and scrolled these books for like an hour.
Yeah.
And it's not even enough time. There's more copies, but
Yeah.
I urge you, this special collection is open to the public. So if you do have the time and you are interested, you can come check them out. Otherwise, you can look for Neil Harris's book at any of the Chicago public libraries. They have a ton of copies. The Lincoln Park one alone had 27 copies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's 27 copies in rotation.
Yeah. If you're in New York, go check this out.
Yeah.
Because there's some articles about Chicago, about New York in here. It's Chicago.
It's rivalry.
Yeah, New York's like opinion of Chicago, and they really thought we were a small town, but that's beside the point.
You know?
But honestly, this is dope. Just get in about Chicago. This was cool to see that that's what the culture, Chicago culture was, even though it wasn't all politically correct. We need that back again. Yeah, not slightly. Yeah, I was about to say we need that back. Honestly, we need something to talk to the media about who we are, and that's what we are doing.
Yeah.
So, continue to like, subscribe, follow, hit the share button.
Learn that Chicago culture right here on this channel.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Until then, we're gonna finish up our 10 minutes. We're gonna see y'all next week. This is honestly.
I know. I don't want to leave, but
Me
they
either.
close in 10 minutes.
They sure do. You could keep us in here. Anyway.
Anyway.